ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle, also known as KJ, and I have decided to start my own YouTube Let's Play channel. And the first game that I'll be playing is, as you can see on the screen before you, NBA 2K13. Now, I'm a big sports fan on TV and video games, especially any Chicago team. And currently, basketball is the sport of the season, so I've decided to make a Let's Play series with it. Now, I've decided to use NBA 2K13 for one major reason. It's $10 right now as opposed to $60 for 2K14. Now, I don't think paying $50 is worth it for a little bit of an update in the rosters, especially since I'm going to be doing a fantasy draft anyway. So, with this first episode, I'm going to be going through the settings and everything that the game will have, as well as the fantasy draft itself. In the next episode following this, we'll have our very first game as our team. You'll probably be able to guess right now what that game is, as I've said before. I'm a Chicago fan. So, without further ado, let's start this up. It's just going to be me. The season length I'm saying at 29 games. I'm doing this because I want each game to mean something. So, it to be worthwhile for me to try and do my best to win the games. Also, an 82 game Let's Play series is a very long time, and I really do not think that all of you guys are going to want to sit and watch 82 games. Chemistry's fine, the roles are fine, as is fatigue, deadlines, all that stuff is good. I'm not going to have any preseason games for this Let's Play, just again for the fact to try and keep the season lengths somewhat short and condensed and not drag on for years on end. Injuries will be on. The fantasy draft I am turning on, and I'm going to have it be Serpentine. This is because I want to kind of do something interesting with this. You'll see what I do. Some may say it's cheating, some may say it's not. It's just kind of what I feel like I want to do for this fantasy draft to try and get the most out of it. Let's see, custom leagues, no, substitution's fine. And once again, I'm editing these things and setting all of the playoff games to a best of 3 series. So the person who wins 2 games will go on to the next round of the playoffs. Again, this is to save time for this Let's Play, so that does not drag on and on and on, and that way we can, get the series done, or at least the season done, at a relatively fast pace. The quarter lengths I'm going to set to 6 minutes. I've tinkered around with it. 5 is a little too short for my liking. 7 produces about 45-minute game length, so I'm going to go with 6 to keep, again, this videos at a relatively short length of time, and not have you just sitting here for hours on end watching the video. The 7th quarter length will of course be 6:2, so all the stats will coincide across the whole platform. Alright, so that's all the settings. We are going to now go ahead and start the draft. First, of course, you gotta pick your team that you're gonna play as. As you guys can know, from what I was saying before, I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm going to pick the Bulls. Now, this is where some people may get angry, and I'm sorry if you do, but this is kind of my league, my rules, so I'm actually going to change the Bulls spot and put them as the very first pick. A lot of you may be saying, oh, well, this is going to get you the best team possible. Well, no, because I did turn on Serpentine, which means that the first round, yes, I will get the first pick, but the second round, I will get the 30th pick. And then the first, 30th, you can see where it's going. This is kind of so that I can get the best player, but then the worst player. It's kind of cheating, I'll admit, but it's kind of how I want to do it, so we're going to do it and see how it happens. Again, once the season ends and the draft comes about, they'll have no effect on that. That's all based on record. So this is just for the initial picking of the team. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. It looks like all the rest I don't really care about what place they get picked or anything. So let's go ahead and start the fantasy draft. we are on the clock first. I don't care about that. So, there it is, the person that most people would pick first for their fantasy draft, LeBron James. Now, as a Bulls fan, I'm going to admit that I do not especially like James. I do believe he's a good player. He's an extremely amazing forward. The best in the game right now, today, no doubt about it. Am I going to draft him for my team? No. I feel that he's too cocky, too arrogant, and again, people may disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm not trying to start a big fight over LeBron James right here. This is my fantasy draft, and I'm going to pick someone who I want. Now, I don't want you guys to get mad at me for this, but I'm going to pick Derrick Rose. I promise that I'm not going to just pick all Bulls players for my team here. I will pick other people. I do have kind of an idea of who I would like and would not like on my team. I'm picking Rose for the fact that I like my star player to be the point guard. I feel that the best player on the team should be the point guard because he is kind of like the leader out there, bringing the ball up all the time and really controlling the offense. Now, as you can see, Chris Paul is technically a little bit higher rated than Rose. And yes, I would be safe with going with him. I'd be safe going with someone like Westbrook or Rondo. But I'm just going with Rose just because, I am a Bulls fan. And despite what's happened to him in real life and his injuries, I'm still picking him in the game just for the fact that it's Derrick Rose. So, he will be the first player that I pick in this draft. So, Derrick Rose for the Chicago Bulls. And we'll just look at the listing of first round people. It's pretty standard. It just pretty much picks them in order of their rating most of the time. James, that's kind of funny. Durant goes to the Thunder. Chris Paul goes to the Clippers anyway, so it's kind of interesting how it falls. It's always fun to see these fantasy drafts because the teams are kind of all spread out. Each of them have a set number of then stars, and it's not like one huge super team, and all the stars get like mixed up and goes to different teams and everything. However, there's sometimes that players sometimes end up on their teams currently or a team that they were on before, and so it's always fun to look at these kind of things and be like, wow, that's kind of funny how that worked out in this case. It's always fun to also see what the different matchups are, who goes to what team, who gets to match up against who and with who. So I really should be paying attention to who's picking who, especially in my division. I hope that's not going to be too hard. Pacers got Dirk. I think I saw that the Bucks had, I think Bosch it showed. Yeah, so we're just gonna sim ahead to my spots now that we went past the first round, and pick number 30, second round. Let's see who we want to take. As you can see there, the top person right now is Luol Deng, who was a former member of the Bulls team. They have since traded him to the Cavaliers. I'm not going to discuss about that trade. Not necessarily the best thing that I liked, but I see why they did it. Anyway, to my pick, I'm going to go with probably a shooting guard right off the bat to complement Rose in the backcourt. Because I have the 30th pick, I will have the next pick, the first pick of the third round, so I can kind of decide who I want after that. Right now, though, let's look at the shooting guards. I kind of want my team to be really good, both on the offense and defense, of course, but I want them to kind of be young. I want all the starters to kind of be kind of a young group of people. That way we can try and, continue this, franchise and have, a dynasty built upon these guys. So, we got OJ Mayo here. It's pretty good there. Kevin Martin, Vince Carter, he's pretty old. Follow. Ray Allen's really old. I'm not gonna take him. Jamal Crawford, Bradley, Stuckey. Probably don't want to go any farther below this. No, I don't want Jason Terry. I'm actually going to go with OJ Mayo. I have my own personal game that I play sometimes, and I do have Mayo on that team. He's a really good player, really good in the offense. He's got great three-point shooting ability, as well as free throws. That's a really important thing for me. I want to have a good three-point shooters. As you can see, he's got some good potential, decent defense and offense. Not a good rebounder, but what guard is. So I'm going to take OJ Mayo with my second pick. Put him on the team. And as you can see, we have the next pick. So I'm not going to take Dang, because like I said, I'm not going to take all Bulls players. I will branch out a little bit, so I'm not going with Dang. Really don't like any of these forwards right here. Paul Pierce is way too old for my liking. The power forwards, David West isn't bad. He's a little old, but I really don't like Gasol. I don't really like any of these guys here. So we're gonna go with the center. I feel like the center is a real good position to go for next, especially since he's gonna be doing the tip-offs and can really be a danger down to paint the way that I play. So let's look at the center stats. Again, I want him to be kind of young, so 28, 27, okay. Real good defender there. Roy Hibbert, he's one of the guys that I've been looking at. He's got real great rebounding, a lot of potential, pretty young guy. He's 7'2", been in the league for 5 years. I think right now in the NBA he's with the Pacers. Yeah. I really like him. Okafor, yeah, a little too old for me. Pekovic, he's 26, been in the league for 3 years. Got good rebounding and potential too. He's kind of like Hibbert too. Got kind of the same overall statistics, pretty close with the shooting. He's just a year older. Hibbert's a little bit taller. Tyson Chandler, who else? Higgins. No, I'm gonna probably go between him and him. Tough one. But I think that I'm going to go with this guy only because he has a cheaper salary. And Derrick Rose and OJ Mayo, I think, have pretty big salaries. I know Rose does, for sure. Nothing against Hibbert. I really like him. He's a great player, especially for Indiana. And any other team, for that matter, in this game. But I'm just going to go with a little bit cheaper of a salary, and about the same statistics and everything, same age statistics. So we're going to take Pekovic as our center for the team. So yeah, Paul Pierce there, Evan Turner. Let's just breeze through all this. We really don't need to look at that right now. And get to our pick. So, the next guys that we need, we have the 30th pick right here, and then the first pick. So we need to get our small and power forwards for the team. Let's take a quick look at the top people right now. Okay, power forward. Okay, so remember how I said I'm not going to pick all Bulls guys? Well, I'm not picking all Bulls guys, but when they do come up and they're good, I'm probably going to take them. This was one of those cases. I'm going to take Taj Gibson as my power forward. I always believed that he should be a starter for us on the Bulls rather than Boozer. There's been trade rumors for him and everything, but I'm going to take him in the game. His salary isn't that much. It's a 5-year contract for him. Oops. But he's got great rebounding and defense, which is what I really, really love about him. His mid-range and close shots are great. He can get the offensive rebounds, throw them back down. He's got a decent amount of potential in him. And, I think, he will be a good starter for our guys. So I'm going to take him as my power forward. Sorry if you guys are pissed I'm taking 2 Bulls players, but I'll try not to take any more. I'm not going to make any promises, but I'll try. Okay. So now we have to pick our small forward. So let's see who we have here. I think I saw that the guy who I was thinking of taking was already drafted. So we're gonna have to pick someone else for that. I do not want Marion. He's a little bit too old for my liking. Karolinko, he's a decent player from what I've seen. He's got a decent shot, decent rebounding, and good defense. He's been in the league 12 years though, so I don't know if he's really going to be sticking around for that long. Stephen Jackson, kind of in the same boat as Marion. Hill, no, getting too old. No, a lot of these small forwards are old, so we're upper 30s and everything. I really don't want to go that young. 19. We're probably going to have to take one of the, I guess, older people. Really shouldn't call them old. It's more like experienced. They're more experienced than the other guys. Maybe Tayshaun Prince. I know he played for Detroit a lot. Used to play with him on another game, 2K11. I really liked him there. He's got a good overall game. I'm also thinking Karolinko, but I'm not going to take Marion. I'm thinking I'm going to take Prince. He's a little bit lower in the rating. 1 year older. He's a little bit cheaper with a little bit longer contract. Really. See, these are the hard decisions I have to make. Again, when it's between 2 people that really think would be good. Who do I pick? I'm gonna take Prince, just because I do know he does have a little bit more experience, I believe. He is a champion already one time. He's also got a laid-back personality, so hopefully things won't piss him off as much if I do a horrible job at this, as opposed to Karolinko, who's unpredictable and is liable to start, throwing a fit. So, I'm going to take Tayshaun Prince, and that will set my starting lineup for the Bulls. I will have Tayshaun Prince on there, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, OJ Mayo, and my center, who I cannot pronounce his name. I really probably should figure out how to pronounce his name, because I'm going to be saying it a lot. Alright. So, Bulls are on the clock, and it's time to pick our backups. This is the 30th pick, sorry. So, I want to have some good backup, good bench, but I don't want guys who are going to get pissed if they don't get a lot of playing time. I want guys who know that they're going to be on the bench and will accept that role, because I've played the game before where guys, expect more minutes And with stars like Rose and Mayo and Prince and everything, they're going to take up a good chunk of minutes. So I don't want these guys to get too pissed if they don't have a lot of minutes, especially in crunch time games. So the first thing I'm going to address is a point guard to back up Rose here. Because I feel that Rose needs a very good point guard to back him up, someone who can, lead the team when he's not on the floor and do a good job with that. Yeah, you guys are probably going to be mad or something here, but I'm going to take Kirk Heinrich. Again, he is currently a Bull, and I'm sorry that's like 3 current Bulls on this team, but what are you going to do if I'm, more drawn to them? The reason I'm picking Kirk is because he is Captain Kirk, as we call him. He's really, really good with the point guard position when the starter's off the field. He himself can be a starter if need be. Runs that position as a general. Great 3-point shooting, great free throws. Got a good layup and decent mid-range game too. I can rely on him if, the starters aren't doing too good. Hopefully, putting him into the game, he can at least get some points off the bench for us. So, I'm going to pick him as my backup point guard for this team. That will then give us the next draft pick, in which I should take... what should I take now? I'm going to take a small forward if they have a young guy. Because Prince, as we see, is 32. He's getting a little up there in age. However, none of the young guys are here. This guy's pretty young. I don't want... He's young, but he says he's a starter. See, I want to make sure that the guys aren't expecting too much, like to be starters or anything. Chris Douglas Roberts, I've played as him before. He's decent. Unless I go with a shooting guard right now to back up Mayo, which is what I'm thinking I'll probably do to try and get some of those older small forwards down. Hamilton. Michael Redd. How about you? I think he's a decent player from what I've seen. Yeah, he's really, really good. He's pretty good all around. Defense isn't that great. Offense is okay. Rebounding, of course, isn't going to be that good. He's kind of a veteran, been around for 13 years. 32 years old as opposed to Mayo, who is 24. So I think that could work out good. Have a good guy coming in off the bench who really knows what he's doing. It's not a big salary for 2 years. I think I'll take Michael Redd as my backup shooting guard. He can also play the small forward position. So let's go with him and draft him as the backup shooting guard for us. And now just simulate down to our next pick, to round 8 it is. So who do we want? We want either power forward or small forward. Let's do the small forward now, because these guys are kind of getting a little bit younger. I like them a little bit younger. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Childress, I've seen him before. I think I played with him at one time. But I think he kind of expects a little bit bigger of a role. Earl Clark. I really like him. I played with him in their game, and he's a pretty decent shooter. He's got some potential. He's kind of young, is what I like. Good with a dunk. Good all around, really. He's laid back, so hopefully a lot of things won't piss him off. He's a role player, which is what I kind of need. Just someone who can hopefully come in, maybe with Kirk and everything, score some points for me. Can also play the power forward if I need him to. So let's go with Earl Clark. Yes, the small forward. Backup. And now we either need power forward or maybe a center. Let's go with the center. Maybe we'll get someone a little bit... hey, we can get Birdman! Should we do the Birdman? I think we should maybe do the Birdman. That would be funny. I want someone a little bit older, so someone that has a little bit more experience in the role. Because right now, 26. What did I do? Oh, oops. Went too far back there. Now pressing the right buttons. That's always an important thing. Press the right buttons. I want someone a little bit more experienced. So I'm thinking of maybe Brendan Hayward or the Birdman, Chris Anderson. Anderson's got some decent abilities, and also play the power forward. He's a little undersized though, which is why I'm really not too keen with. However, I think it'd just be cool to have the Birdman. He's pretty controversial. And you know, as much as I don't like James, I really don't like him either. But he does give you something off the bench. So I think I'm going to take him as my backup center. If it does not work out, I'm sure I can trade him, hopefully, and recoup my losses. Yeah, that may be a very bad decision on my part, but you know, that's the fun thing about this. You learn from your mistakes as you make them. Which leaves only a 3 more picks for us. And specifically, we are going to try to probably get a power forward now. Even though a lot of these guys can play the power forward. Really not that big now that I look at it. So let's try and get a bigger power forward. Someone on the large scale. You're pretty big. You're decently old. Taj is kind of 26 anyway, so let's look at you. You want to roll though. Maybe. Targeting tall people. Rashad Lewis. He's pretty decent all-around shooting. His defense isn't the greatest, offense isn't the greatest, rebounding is pretty bad. And for a power forward, you need to have a really nice defense and rebounding, I think. So I'm not going to go with him. Reggie Evans, really good rebounder, but not a very good shooter, so kind of defeats that purpose. Troy Murphy. I don't know too much about you. 6'11", 12-year pro, off the bench, rebounder, decent defender, and pretty good with the shots. Kind of like that. He's got a neutral personality, so things won't piss him off, hopefully. I always go back to that because I have a feeling I'm going to do a horrible job and just start pissing everyone off on my team if I don't give them enough minutes, which has happened to me before, so I'm going to go with him, Troy Murphy, as my power forward. Can also play the center spot. And so we need 2 more people now. Who should we get? We should maybe get either Nerf small or power forward. I'm thinking a Nerf forward of some type, and then another guard. We want a point guard. No, I'll probably take a shooting guard because Rose takes up a lot of time. So I need that shooting guard that's going to be fine with being on the bench a lot. Savalosha wants to be a starter. That far down, with your talents, you're not going to get that. Gary Neal, Williams. I want to go far enough down that they're not going to complain if they don't get a lot of minutes. Because really would not want to deal with that. Corey Higgins. I think I have him on one of my teams. He's got a decent amount of potential and everything. I think I'm going to take him as my backup guard. He's 23. It's only a 1-year deal, so that's fine then, I guess. Compared to the rest of the guards, he's kind of in there and everything, kind of young, so we'll have a decent blend of young and old. The veterans and the new guys. So I'm going to go with him. Higgins, where'd you go, Higgins? There we are, Corey Higgins. I'm going to take you as my third string guard. Whether or not you get a lot of time, I do not know. And then we're going to take some type of forward here in the 12th round. Last pick, we get it. Why not pick you? You're right there up at the top. Well, you're a sixth man, you'll probably expect a lot of minutes. So again, like I said, I want to pick someone that's kind of lower on the rating, so that way they don't expect a lot of time to play, but who can still come in and play and hopefully at least keep us afloat. Kurt Thomas, he's a former Bull, I think, right? At least his name looks familiar. Yeah, there. I think he's coming to the end of his career though, so I don't know if I really want that. 39, yeah, that's a little bit too much for me. How about the small forward side? Kyle Korver, 3-point specialist there. He expects to be a starter. He's nuts. Really don't know with this one who I want to take. I really don't know any of these people. You look familiar. So we're just gonna take someone and see how they work out. Someone who hopefully is not expecting a big role. How about you? You're semi-young, got quite a bit of potential there. Pretty decent shooter, not that great on the rebounding side, which I'm not too happy about that. Austin Day, will keep you in mind. Power forward, maybe Freeland? Looks kind of like a role player. But you, Pendergraph. What is your abilities? Good rebounder, good defender, quite a bit of potential. Good with the dunk and decent with the other shots. I think I may take you. 3-year pro, 6'9", can play the power forward or center spot. It's a 1-year deal, pretty cheap there. I'm going to go with you, Jeff Pendergram. You are going to be the last member of my Bulls team. Yes, and the draft has ended. We really don't need to look at the draft summary. We'll just exit. And this is all automation stuff. Yeah, I'll let off-season task. And no, I want to do the draft. You can do that. This is pretty much determining what stuff gets done. So I'll do the player contracts and the NBA draft. And I think that's all that I'll do. No, I want to do the trading and player roles. I'll do that. Everything else I'll let the computer handle. I'll do all that stuff. So let's continue. Yeah, we're going to just continue offline. So, we are going to create a new association, save it up, and yeah, see how that goes. Same it. I don't remember what they call it. Let's call it YouTube with Bowls. That's what I'll save it as. Yeah. Crap. See, I pressed the wrong button again. I'll try not to do that when I'm actually playing the game, because that could cause very bad things to happen. Like a steal or turnover, and I really don't want that. I will be playing on Pro or All Pro. I have not yet decided which one. Probably start with a lower difficulty and probably bump it up if I see that I'm doing a very good job against the computer. Not completely sure yet. Probably try a couple things. I will auto-generate cookies. So yeah, looks like it's done. Anthony Davis, he's a rookie technically this year. Braun just won his first title. Carmelo wants to win. Brandon Roy is ready to return. Bobcats want to improve. I think they have improved with this fantasy draft. And can anyone stop the Heat? We're hoping the Bulls can, and considering that the Heat probably have a completely different looking roster this year, there's no doubt that that's going to probably happen. So, that pretty much concludes this episode of my NBA 2K13 Let's Play. A look at my roster. I have Derrick Rose, OJ Mayo, Nikola Pekovic. I really don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just butchering his name, and I feel horrible considering, that he's going to be my star center here, but sorry. I have Taj Gibson, Tayshaun Prince, and then my backups include Michael Redd, Kirk Heinrich, Earl Clark, Corey Higgins, Troy Murphy, Chris Anderson, and Jeff Pendergraph. See, I can pronounce everyone's name except my starting center. It's horrible. I feel horrible for that. But guys, I think that's where I'm going to stop for today. I will be back again soon with the very first game of the season, which I will look real quick and see. It will be against the Phoenix Suns. Now again, as I showed you, this is only a 29-game season, so there's a lot of breaks in between games. Very few games that we play. That's just because I don't want this series to go on and on and on and on. So, schedule looks a little light, but we'll have to see. I don't know who the other teams have. I may look at, see what I'm up against, but it should be a fun time. So guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please post a like. Also post in the comments what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. And I will be coming with the second video very soon. Otherwise guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.